in all the evidence that I had seen, even after the verdict, I still can't clearly see that Tory Lanez shot Meghan.
If it was Kylie Jenner, because she's white,
it would have just been word is born.
It would have been like, Tory shot me, Tory shot me.
They said his DNA is not there.
Meghan was being a bit snicky, yeah. She did a thing with her best friend's guy behind her best friend's back. Lied about it. This is the reason why people don't believe her. Because she's already lied.
Wagwan peeps, it's Venom, what you saying? Alongside my home slice, damn me to the zane. When she and I get together on the poddy, ask anybody, the vibes are insane.
Join our family and feel free to come by. Be on Apple Podcasts and Spotify.
Yeah.
New drop on the way every Monday at 6.
Tune in and come see what we unpick. Wagwan peeps, it's your boy Venom, alongside my home slice dummy to the Zane.
Hey, hello, hi peeps. And Toby's in the building too. You can hear him squeaking his toy.
Welcome to Unpicked, a weekly podcast where we delve into the overlooked and underappreciated topics in our culture. Each week we bring you fascinating and unique stories and opinions that you won't hear anywhere else. So let's get unpicking.
Boom. Boom.
I mean, Zane, what are you saying?
I'm good, man. I just need to give you accolades because that intro was fire. Sorry, what? What?
Thank you.
Do you have to change our little like tagline on the channel? Do you have to change it? Because
man's got the media training for Christmas. You get me the little package and that.
Okay. Man said the underappreciated something topic. I said, okay.
You see it there?
I see. That's what we're about. We just like to improve every single time,
Yeah, got to.
Just a quick PSA, I guess. We call it that. Oh yeah, it is a PSA. I have the flu, guys. So you're gonna
dun.
You're gonna hear it in my voice. Like, this is what you call dedication, hard work.
See it there?
Do you know what I mean? Like, man, like Nipsey, not joking. Because I have a whole flu. Yeah, my body is aching in places I didn't know could ache.
Oh, you got the achy flu.
I got the achy flu, sore throat. One ear is not even working. Not the headphones, my ear. Like, the ear is not working.
Yeah, that was my initial confusion as well.
And I'm still here. I'm here showing up for you guys. So for that alone, hit the like button. And if you're
hit the like, hit the subscribe.
We don't play. We take this seriously. We've been away for a little bit, but that's because of the holiday season and that. But we back now, yo.
Back.
Like we never
back, baby.
Like we never left.
So we're gonna run through some tea, and then we're gonna unpick that big bad boy with the Tory Lanez and the Megan the Stallion and the Kelsey and the.
It's only right. Yeah, it's only right because we know some of you gonna want to hear what we have to say. And we're not doing game time today because somebody didn't prepare Venom's questions, but allow me in it. Like I already told you, one of my ears is not working.
And obviously you need the ears to prep the game time.
Do you know what I mean? I need to make sure I can hear the answers correctly to hear that you got it wrong. Do you know what I mean? So
bad. Bare shade, when you're ill and you're doing up shade on me.
I will never stop having shade for you. Wow. Just know that. So the tea, yeah. What's in the cup, then? What we starting with?
So I'll start with a light one. I saw it the other day. Mr. Bill Cosby, set for release this year.
Okay.
And he has let it be known, I guess, by his media team or whatever, that he is going on tour immediately.
Tour for what, though?
Comedy. He's a stand-up comedian at his core. You know what I mean? This is what started Mr. Cosby's career. He's a stand-up comedian. He said, I'm going on tour immediately. And your boy wants to see it.
You want to see Bill Cosby and thingy?
Yeah.
I feel like he's been practicing in pen, so now he's like,
this is what I'm saying.
So let me come out and do what I gotta do. Yeah, I hear it.
I think it's about to be top notch.
You think so?
I watched him right before he went in, and still top notch. I'm not gonna lie, I enjoyed it thoroughly. So it's a weird one because he was found guilty, so I just have to take it like, yeah, man did those things, but somehow that's not changed my opinion of him the way it's changed my opinion of R. Kelly.
It's funny because remember the last time we actually released the episode, yeah, and we were talking about, I think I said it, I was like, people know how to separate the artist from the crime. I feel like that's exactly what you just did there.
100%. 100%.
Case on point. I don't know. Do you think he'll sell out the shows though?
I think he will, man. Bill Cosby is different to the younger people and the other old people that got like Me Too'd and all that kind of stuff. Is it because he's a comedian? Maybe. Or maybe it's just because of his legacy in terms of like having the Cosby Show, and I don't know. I think it's probably that, but
it's also the fact that he's been in prison for non-UK, non-Londoners.
Nah, they gotta get it, man. They just gotta get it.
He's been in pen, and so people might want to hear what he has to say.
He got stuff to say. And plus, he's served his time for his crime. So you technically...
I don't give a heck. When R. Kells comes out of prison...
Yeah,
he's still a monster to me. I don't care about he's done the crime, he's done the time. I don't care.
Yeah, but same way you'd be like, oh yeah, but Rihanna forgave him, so we should forgive him.
No, but if R. Kelly's victims haven't forgiven him, then, and I don't think they have. So.
Oh yeah, I'm not comparing. I wasn't actually comparing R. Kelly. I was comparing Bill Cosby. Not that there's much difference, but yeah, he's done his legal time. You know, in the eyes of the law.
I would not be putting my money towards any man that has abused a woman, period. Well, no, damn.
No, I guess we're not going to see Chris Brown after all.
I got the tickets.
We're going to get a refund, baby.
I'm not getting a refund. I'm going to see Chris Brown. I don't give a
We are getting refunds.
Do you know what's funny? I was talking with my chest.
You was talking wicked and bad. Like Chris did a beat up Rihanna. Oh my God.
Wow.
She said, no, man. Whoever gets my money, if he ever touch woman untoward in this life.
Now I'm going to see Chris Brown. I don't give a heck. Sorry.
And here you have it, ladies and gentlemen.
Do you know what I'm going to see?
Hypocrisy. Do you know what I'm going to see in 23.
Let me tell you something first and foremost. Yes, Rihanna did forgive. I clocked what you did. Yeah. Rihanna did forgive Chris Brown. Numero uno. Dos. Yeah, dos. My sister is the biggest Chris Brown fan ever, and 2023 is about to be a difficult year for her without even going into too much private stuff. Like something's coming up that's going to be very difficult, and her one wish was like, I really want to see Chris Brown. So being the loving big sister that I am, I was like, I have to fulfill my sister's wish. So I got her tickets. And obviously she wanted me to come with her. So I got myself tickets as well.
Okay, so we're doing big narrative to...
You can call it what you want, but you can call it... Let me tell you something here. I cried. I don't think you people understand the pressure it was to get Chris Brown's tickets. The pressure... Oh my Lord. I have O2. I have an O2 account.
O2 Priority.
So I have O2 Priority. O2 Priority, I sat there 1 hour before, refreshing the page. Let me know if you tell you like the tech is too much. Refreshing the page. Did I get a ticket? No.
Damn.
As soon as the ticket doors opened, yeah. Why was I number 42,000 and something? Instantly. Instant 1 second past 10 a.m.
42,000.
I said it's a wrap because the O2 holds about 20k. I'm not getting a ticket. Forget it. So that was day one. I said, it's okay. It's cool. Live Nation have a pre-sale tomorrow. I'll go for Live Nation. Cool. So Live Nation, I've logged on. Everyone's like, damn, you going to get me? I'm like, yeah, I got you. Even me too. I was confidence. I said, yeah, I'm going to get a ticket. I'm going to get 4 tickets. Yeah. Live Nation came again. 1 second past 10. As soon as it let me in, because it makes you pre-wait, so it adds you to the queue, and then depending on where you are in the queue, when the doors open, that's what determines where you are in the queue, innit? As soon as the queue opened, again, it was telling me something like 20 something K. I said, And the thing was moving bare slow. The loading to let you in was I said, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. If you can't get in to view tickets within the first 10 minutes, forget it. It's going to be like, you're going to sweat. You're going to be sweating to get tickets. So I was like, yeah, maybe not today. I said, cool. General sales. Everything was hanging on general sales that Friday. I woke up early. I took Toby for a walk. Everything, had breakfast. I did my morning routine mad early. I was there from, let's say, 8:30. I was on Ticketmaster's website, ready. I said, I have to be in front. Tell me why. Different browsers, my phone, my laptops, everything. Benham, I got in quite all right. By the time I got into buying the ticket, it was like 10:15. So I said, okay, I've got a good chance of getting like good tickets. Selected the 4 tickets that I wanted. Boom, it told me I can get the tickets. And I only go for, level 1. I only go for level 1. I don't do anything else, or I'm not going. I don't like heights. So yeah, so I had my 4 tickets. Time to pay now. Bear in mind, I have a Ticketmaster login. Everything's preset. On your MacBook as well. Like you can have your card details preset up in there. All I have to do is use my finger to like verify the payment. Yeah, do everything. Use my finger. How can it tell me? Ticketmaster's rude. Ticketmaster goes, "Oh, it's not you, it's us. There's an error." Legit, that's what it said. It said refresh the page. I refreshed the page. Why did it take me back to the queue? Number 40-something thousand. Then I picked up the phone, called my mum. I was crying. I was sobbing. I was in tears. I said, Mum was like, damn, it's not that deep. It's just Chris Brown. I said, I don't think you understand. Annie, my sister, she wants to go to this concert. And I've been trying all week to get her tickets. And the one thing that I want to be able to do for her is get her these tickets. I said, I don't care about everybody else. I just need to get her tickets. Mum was like, it's okay, you tried your best. Mum's all trying to reassure me. I'm like, no. To me, it was like I failed as a sister. I was so upset, yeah? And then something just told me, try again. So on another browser, I could see it was letting me into the queue. This is like, it's probably like 10:30 at this point. I thought it's a done deal. I even shutting down stuff on. But something told me to keep this one browser open. I think it was God, to be honest. Kept it open. Happened to refresh. I just said, let me just select for 2 tickets. It's not gonna work. As I was talking to my mum on the phone, I said, let me just do it. That's like 2 tickets. Level 1. Good seats. I said, Mum, just pause. I have 3 minutes on the clock to make this payment.
That's the thing as well, the pressure.
I was sweating. My mum was like, oh, she was bare talking to me. I'm like, like, I'm one of those drivers as well. When I'm reversing, I have to turn off the music. That's how it was. Just to, I said, Mum, I love you. No disrespect, but can you just be quiet for like a couple of minutes so I can make this pay? Once the tickets are secured, I'll continue this conversation with you. As soon as I can secure the tickets, I said, that's it, I'm going to Chris Brown. Now you understand the journey that I went through and the reasoning. I'm going to that concert. I don't give a heck. As for Bill Cosby, I will not be there. R. Kelly, I will not be there. Sorry.
R. Kelly, I can't do.
No
but
way.
Bill Cosby, I think I'm.
Let us know how it goes.
That. If he comes to the UK anyway, or somewhere nearby in Europe.
Do you think the UK will let him in? Because he's a felon now.
Yeah, it's us. It's America that has those laws that like are very strict about felons going. I don't think ours are that strict.
I mean, Chris Brown, they banned him from coming here.
Yeah, but wasn't that like an individual?
And he's not the first one as well. I think Snoop was banned from coming out at one point.
Snoop was banned previously.
Yeah. And what do they all have in common?
Yeah, no. I know it's because they're felons, but I think it's also because they're big artists as well.
Yeah, and you don't think Bill Cosby is a big artist? He
is, but it's a different type of art. I don't know. I'm trying to think if there's another. Tyson's been here many times, hasn't he?
Let's see in it.
Yeah.
Bare things happened over this holiday season.
Bare things. So you got Mr. Andrew Tate.
Oh my lord.
And his brother. His brother Tristan.
Oh my lord, Andrew Tate.
And arrested in Romania for human trafficking. I mean, I'm a fan of Tate anyway. I don't agree with everything he says, but I'm definitely a fan of the guy. But literally, as soon as that was announced, my gut feeling was cap.
You think it's cap? You think it's cap?
100%. I think it's cap. 100%. Reason why, without knowing details, by the way. So this is all alleged because he has not been proven guilty of something he's been charged, and I don't know anything because I don't know the guy personally. But it would have to be some kind of wild technicality type of human trafficking, because someone of his profile, yeah, I get it, he's in and out of countries, but someone of his profile, it doesn't even make sense for them to attempt a crime like that. Like it literally doesn't even make. In fact, the amount of money that he makes just from doing appearances and stuff, again, it doesn't make sense. So that's my basis. And for him and his brother to be there, it's a bit anyway.
So I'm looking at my phone because I just needed to kind of like again what human trafficking actually is. Yeah. So according to the Oxford Dictionary, it is the unlawful act of transporting or coercing people in order to benefit from their work or service, typically in the form of forced labor or sexual exploitation. My understanding is it was women that accused Andrew of doing this. Now, given the fact that, here's me putting on my legal brain, albeit being fuzzy because it's been a long time, and secondly, given the fact that, like I said, one ear's physically not working today, it's the coercing people in order to benefit from their work or service. So I guess
ain't that employment though?
No, because you enter into a contract. With employment, they'll tell you, oh, this is your job description. You will agree. You will sign a contract, and you will go and do it. There is no coercion. More time you applied for the job, and even if you were headhunted, they'll still ask you if you're interested in the job in itself. So it can't really be coercion. But the act of transporting or coercing people in order to benefit from their work or service, I guess if he was like saying to these girls, I'll do X for you if you do Y, what his X was didn't manifest itself, then that is a type of coercion then, isn't it? Or
yeah, to a degree.
Even like not salt bait. Do you remember Tinder Swindler?
Oh,
yeah,
Swindler.
Remember Tinder Swindler?
What's his name? Levine.
Yeah. Okay, so his crime was fraud. Simon. Yeah, Simon. His crime was fraud, yeah. But let's say that he was, I mean, depending on interpretation, I guess you could say, because he was flying those girls to places. I guess if he was like telling them, oh, I'll get into a relationship with you, or I can promise you a better life if you come with me to here, and he got them involved in the fraud, and it was, do you know what I mean? Then technically that is human trafficking. Do you see what I'm trying to say?
Yeah,
so
based on this definition,
so
yeah.
I think when people think of human trafficking, they instantly think of sexual human trafficking, like when they traffic girls for sexual, in order to sell
prostitutes
them, to sell them off to be
some type of
But it doesn't even have to be necessarily that. So for me, I think that it's not far-fetched. I mean, look at we've already named some people today in this conversation who are big stars, have big following, all eyes on them. You would never really have expected or even fathomed that they were capable of doing such things, but they did. So Andrew Tate, I don't know the guy personally, innit? I only know what I see online. So if they're accusing him of the human trafficking, I can't say that it's so far-fetched. I don't think it could be, it's not possible. I think it is possible. I don't think it's cap, but let's see what happens.
Oh, no, for sure.
Goes to court before I start saying that he definitely did it. Right now, what I'm saying is the alleged crime is plausible, irrespective of the fact that he is Andrew Tate, if that makes sense.
For sure, yeah.
Anyone is capable of it, so we'll see. It's all alleged. But yeah, man. And you know what caught him? Do you know how they caught him?
Pizza.
A pizza box. You see, this is why, You should learn how to clean up after yourself and throw your pizza boxes away. Because man was doing live stream or some sort of post, I don't know what he did, something to do with socials, with the pizza box.
He was on stream. He was streaming.
There you go.
Yeah, he was streaming.
The pizza box right there. Pizza they can only get in Romania.
He called the pizza into the shop.
Can you imagine?
Thinking it must have been a sponsored thing. They must have because obviously there's loads of placement deals and stuff.
Not necessarily. Do you know how many times I've picked up a Coke bottle and we're not sponsored? Like, it doesn't, not necessarily.
I agree, but his level. That's why.
Not necessarily. I mean, unless they were like, we want to catch him. So they did some elaborate, like, let's, what's the word I'm looking for? Sorry guys, my brain is fuzzy. More so than normal.
She has the flu now.
What is it? Flipping now. Like they, no, scrap it. It'll come to me later.
Where's your head at?
It should be in bed. That's where it should be. It should be in bed. The word is gone.
Are you still trying?
Yeah, you know when like police officers or the legal system, like they'll put something in place to trap you,
like a honey trap.
Yeah, but there's an actual word for it. There's an actual word for it in that profession. I'm just trying to remember what it is, and it's
a setup.
Thank you. A setup. It could have been a setup. Damn, yo, like this video because I'm struggling out here, and I still made it. Like this video.
I thought there's no way that it's set up.
This video, and if you're listening on the listening platforms, 5 stars. Because this is real dedication. Ooh. Hard work.
This brain is finished,
it's
yo.
Done out
flu
here.
is real though. The flu is real. I had it before Dammy, and I didn't have a body ache flu though. I had temperature flu, but it's real, man.
It started last night, and I was in bed and I was thinking, flipping out. I start a new job next week.
Yeah,
I've got a few days to get rid of this thing. But anyway,
yeah, it's not gonna happen.
But yeah, Ginger. I think it could have been a. What do you think's in this cup? It's not alcohol for once. Drink responsibly, guys. What's it? It could have been a setup, because for him to call it in, like if it was a deal, sponsorship deal,
he literally
it could have been a setup. It could have been a setup. It could have been like, we got him because that's how they caught him. They caught him because they saw that on the pizza. They saw that the pizza came from a chain,
a pizza brand. Yeah, that's only in
Romania. So they're like, oh, he's in the country. We got him.
Yeah, and they have to confirm that he's in the country
and they did.
In order to do a raid on his property, because you can't just raid on someone's property and they ain't in the country. Like, there's certain obviously legal steps that have to be adhered to for them to even invade his property. So that was when they saw the pizza box, they were like, cool, confirmed. Yeah. We've ticked our boxes.
Cool, let's go for it. Wow, all that hard talk, all that heavy talk you got, and it's pizza box that they used to catch you.
But that's how I know that they're scraping, and that's why I'm like, it's cap, because
I don't know. I can't say it's cap.
I know how much. I know. Yeah, in that sense, I'm not saying. Well, okay. When I say it's cap, I'm not saying that to discredit any person's claim against Tate, because that can be very true. When I say it's cap, what I mean is it's likely something either non-existent or very, very small, or a technicality, and that's being used to grab somebody that a lot of legal systems, governments, etc. actually hate, because they are creating stabilization in a way that they cannot control. That's what I mean when I say it's cap. I'm not necessarily talking about the actual truth of the issue.
Yeah. I mean, it's all alleged. Let's just make that expressly clear. It's all alleged, but online had a field day.
Yeah, the bear woman celebrated, and I said,
had a field day. It kind of reminded me of when KS passed.
Yeah, literally.
And the women were like celebrating it, and I was like, I mean, I get it. He's not going to spill his misogyny all over the internet anymore, because he can't do that physically anymore because he's no longer here. But I don't know. Maybe it's the Christian in me. I'm just
I don't
wish
celebrate
bad.
people's demise.
I don't do that. I'll just be like, okay.
Yeah, cool. That's
what it is. Karma, innit? Yeah, karma. All right, cool. I'm not the one to judge, and I'm not gonna be here and start talking crap, because me too, I'm gonna be judged. Basically, the story is this. Tory Lanez, Megan, and Kelsey, right? Finally, there has been a verdict Tory Lanez was found guilty of 3 charges linked to the shooting. And basically, online, people are still arguing that he didn't shoot Megan. And then some people are like, no, he did, obviously, because he's been found guilty now. Like, say what? Like, apologize to Megan. There's been a lot of conspiracy talk as well lately, starting from Kanye to P. Diddy being gay, really, to Jay-Z making sacrifices with sacrificing Biggie and Tupac so that he can be on top, and then apparently they sacrificed Aaliyah so Beyonce can be like. There's bare conspiracies right now, Illuminati talk, Rock Nation linked, yeah. And when Tory got found guilty for these 3 charges, his family instantly went to blaming Rock Nation, and they're saying that because Tory outed Rock Nation months before, or not even months before, months before the incident with Megan, he did a live or a video where he was talking about Rock Nation and how, because he's a Christian, he doesn't want to sell himself to Rock Nation and he refuses to join them and he wants to be an independent artist. And so people are saying, you see, because he didn't join Rock Nation, this is what they did. And they did with Megan. His demise. So there's so many things that's being discussed online. And like we said at the start of the episode, it only makes sense that we talk about it and what we think. So, Venom, what are you saying?
Right. So when this whole thing first happened, obviously, everyone just believed it straight away. Like, oh my God, why did Tory shoot her? But they're dating. Like, no one really knew. It was so ambiguous.
Yeah.
As this trial, I don't know why they decided to do it at Christmas, but as this trial unfolded, it was hella embarrassing and strange all at the same time. I think there was moments where in the narrative, it became known that Tory was involved sexually or romantically, at least, with Kelsey and with Megan, which was, reason for them to have conflict because it seemed like they didn't necessarily know about each other in that way. But there was just a lot of things happening in the course of the trial that kept making me question how truthful this narrative is. For example, Megan saying that it was embarrassing having to go through these sexual details or explain who she was sleeping with, etc. in the court. And I'm like, but you the Stallion, you the baddie, you literally rap about this all the time. Why is it embarrassing to mention one person who you were really intimate with when their life depends on it almost? And then, I mean, I'm naturally leaning towards conspiracy theories anyway, but in all the evidence that I had seen, even after the verdict, I still can't clearly see that Tory Lanez shot Megan. Which is my whole point.
Okay.
And I think all the evidence, without knowing the detail, is pointing towards Kelsey shooting her and then some other stuff happening.
It's okay. So, okay. It's a lot. There was a lot going on. There was a lot going on in that case. And I was following that case closely because I've just got interest in stuff like that. I think that, I mean, we did talk about this before the case went into court. We did talk about this. It was the same episode that got, it's still on Spotify and it's still on Apple Music. You can listen to it and you can see our visuals on Spotty, but you can't find it on YouTube because that was the same episode where we spoke about Westwood the first time.
Oh,
so they got rid of it. Now, when in preparation of us talking about it again, I wanted to just go back and see what we actually discussed when we first discussed it. And when we first spoke about this, we both said that we believe Megan. And from my perspective, I was like, I don't see why she would lie. Like, I don't see what she gains from lying, because technically speaking, she is a bigger artist than Tory Lanez. She's accomplished way more than he has, technically.
Yeah, for sure.
In terms of commercially. So what does she technically gain from lying about him doing this? And that was my original stance. My stance now is that it's, as usual, I'm always like, I don't know, but I do believe her. I do believe that that Megan genuinely believes that Tory shot her. I also think that, I do think that she believes that. But looking at the case, what he was charged for and the evidence that was presented, or what we've been told was presented, it's not as clear cut as did he shoot her, yes or no. There's more to it than that. He was originally charged with just 2 things when it first happened. He was charged for assault with automatic fire, personal use, and carrying a loaded unauthorized firearm in a vehicle. That's what he was originally charged for. And then later on came the discharging the firearm with negligence. Now, I'm going to try in layman's terms to explain each one of those really quickly. Assault with automatic fire could be intentionally or unintentionally firing an automatic weapon, right? But it doesn't necessarily just mean that. It doesn't mean point to shoot, for example. You can slap someone with an automatic firearm and that's enough to say you've assaulted them. You can wave the firearm in the air and that's enough to say that you assaulted them. You could literally shoot in different directions, not at the person, and that is considered as assault with automatic fire, because you're shooting an automatic fire weapon. So automatically, no matter what you do with it, if it's there, if it's in the vicinity, if you're using it, whatever, and because it's automatic fire, it's considered as assault. So that's why that was his first charge, because the allegation is he shot me or he shot at me intentionally, right? The second one is easy, carrying a loaded unauthorized firearm. Now, Tory was already in trouble for carrying a firearm in the first place in the United States, bearing in mind that he's Canadian. So he was already in trouble for that before. So now this just solidified that he had a loaded unauthorized firearm. He wasn't authorized to have that weapon. So those 2 make sense. Then we've got discharging a firearm with negligence. So again, this one is actually, do you know what I mean? Negligently. Let's just put it that way. So the reason why I bring all of this up is if we just look at the evidence, there's key pieces of evidence and testimony. The first one is the phone calls, which I'm just going to put that to the side for 1 second because that one's those 2 are a bit hazy. There's the phone call. There's a phone call when the police was called or something like that. And then there's the phone call between him and Kelsey. Yeah. So we'll put that aside. Yeah. Then we've got DNA evidence. So there was fragments of female DNA on the gun, but no DNA. Tory's DNA was not on that gun, right? And then there was the testimony from Kylie Jenner's neighbor who said that they saw the whole altercation from their window, and according to their testimony, they saw it wasn't just Megan, Kelsey, and Tory that was even there. Apparently there was like 2 other girls. So there was an altercation between Megan and the other girls. And then Tory, apparently one of the girls, allegedly Kelsey, drew for the gun, made shots towards look at me, my gun fingers. Gunshots towards Megan, and then Tory took the gun from this person, made shots in the air. Now I'm just gonna go by the testimony alone because I feel like everything else is a bit in terms of like the whole situation. And bear in mind, just for context, apparently Kelsey was the one doing a thing with Tory. Megan finds out Kelsey finds out at Kylie Jenner's party that Megan, her so-called bestie, has also been doing things with Tory. They get into a kerfuffle. Kylie Jenner's like, you lot need to get out of my house because you lot are not beefing in my party and not in my house, so get out. So that's why they left, yeah? So with that in mind, just looking at the testimony, first of all, I find it a bit odd that the other girls that were there were not mentioned in the beginning. We were all led to believe that it was just Tory, Kelsey, and Megan in the car, right? The other people that were there, whether it was 1 or 2, I can't remember, they weren't discussed until now, until the court case has come out. And we don't know who they are. I've not been able to find who they are. We've not heard much about them. Like, it's a bit strange. Secondly, I think because they were all intoxicated, like they were all heavily drunk, that's why I said it's very easy for me to agree with Megan in her believing that Tory had the gun, because just from looking at it in reality, she might not have known who originally took the shots, but from when she looked and Tory's shooting in the air, obviously the last person you see with the gun is more likely you're going to think it's them. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Based on what I said about assault with automatic fire, I remember I said you can literally point an automatic fire weapon at someone and that is considered as assault. You don't even have to shoot. You don't have to press, you don't have to discharge, nothing. So for the fact that Tory had that gun and shots were fired, he's already guilty for that crime.
Yeah, he's guilty.
For that. Then there's the, again, carrying a loaded unauthorized firearm. Again, he had a gun in his car. We don't know who the gun belongs to, but again, he was carrying an unauthorized weapon. So he's guilty for that as well. And then discharging a firearm with negligence. Now, if the bystander, if the neighbor who made the testimony was right, the fact that he made shots in the air, again, discharge a firearm with negligence. He was negligent in doing that. So if any of the bullet fragments ended up in Megan's leg, technically he's guilty. So with that breakdown, fine. The only thing for me that's an anomaly, that if I was in that jury, if I was part of the jury, that I would have been like, I'm not sure, is the DNA. Because
no DNA.
Because the witness said that they saw Tory take shots in the air to try and break up the fight. So if he took shots in the air, his DNA should be on the gun, unless he cleaned the gun afterwards, right?
But how are you going to clean the gun but manage to leave the female DNA on the gun?
Exactly. So to me, I feel like there's a lot going on. I think the charges are correct. I think the charges that he was charged for are right. I think they are right, given what we now understand the situation to have been. I think they're correct. I do think that I don't like the fact that when Megan came out about this, because she tried to protect him as well in the beginning. And my thing is, I think she tried to protect him because she slept with Tory and she didn't want people to know that she slept with Tory because Tory was doing a thing with her friend. I think she was trying to protect her
own image.
Her image, as opposed to, because in order for her to say Tory shot me, she kind of has to relay the fact that she's had a sexual relation with him, because what is his...
Why did he
do it? Like, what was his intent in randomly shooting you? Yeah? And when she did the interview with Gail, she was like, oh, I said I wanted to go home and he didn't want me to go home. And when I got out of the car, he was like, dance. And then he started shooting at her. And I think that, to me, when I heard the story, I was like, this story doesn't make sense. But I still believed her, because
it really don't.
Black woman solidarity, let me not lie. But in order for the story to make sense, we need to know, the only way that the story makes sense is for us to know his intent and for us to know that you slept with him. So I get why she tried to protect him. I don't think she tried to protect him because she was trying to, I don't want him to get in trouble for it. I think she was trying to protect him because she didn't want the story to come out that this is what she did, right? But I think, I do believe Megan. I do think that it's a mixture of what Megan said and what the person that was watching from their window had said. I think that the phone call between Tory and Kelsey just proves that he had something to hide. I do think that the charges are correct. I don't think Tory shot her intentionally to shoot her, right? I think he did make the shots. I don't know if he intended, like, I'm going to try and end this, this chick or whatever. But that's my take on the whole thing. That's what I think. I do think he made shots, whether he made shots at her or not intentionally, that is still in question.
I agree. I think he did shoot it in the air because he strikes me as one of those shorter kings with the midget man syndrome, where certain times when things hype up, they need to get loud. So the shooting it in the air, 100%, I think he might have bust one little shot in the air. But stories still don't make no sense as far as how it's transpired in the court case, because everybody was apparently drunk, including Tory. ain't no one questioning why man's drinking and driving under the anyway. But there's that. There's the fight with these unknown entities, and the fight between Megan and Kelsey, which also was described by witnesses that they didn't really want to discuss. Like even Kelsey was playing it down like, oh yeah, you know, we might have bumped into each other. Nah,
Kelsey
you lot was fighting.
She did a whole diss track, which they played in court.
But they played in court. They said this is evidence. They were like, nah. She said, nah, I don't remember saying that. I didn't.
Yeah.
I said, no.
And the diss track alluded to her
to shooting at her.
Yeah.
So I'm like, you can't have all of that. Listen, as far as I know, if I'm in a situation, let's just use me and you.
Yeah.
If we're in a situation where me and you's mad drunk, and then somehow a gun comes out, and somehow you get like injured slightly with whatever, and we fell out. I'm not now gonna do a diss track saying I shot you if I didn't. I'm not gonna put myself in that narrative position if that's not the part that I played, because I don't need that. I don't like. We're already beefing. I don't now need to also be suspect. Do you know?
I mean, she is. Do you know what's funny? Because the whole narrative, no one was talking about Kelsey.
Until the trial started. I said, what was this girl doing?
And you know what? Because the thing is, there's so many narratives off the back of this thing, because there's the whole, as a black woman, why did they not believe her? If it was Kylie Jenner, because she's white.
It would have just been word is born.
It would have been like, Tory shot me, period. There would have been no like discourse, no, we don't believe her, we do believe her. You wouldn't have had rap artists, like male rappers, calling her a liar on their tracks and stuff like that.
Do you know what though?
So it's kind of like, this is why I said black woman solidarity, because I was like, I don't see why she would lie. And so I was very much like, yeah, he did it, but we'll wait for the guilty charge. During the course of the trial, when more stuff was being reported about what was said and done and what evidence was brought to the courtroom in front of the jury, I started thinking, whoa.
I doubted it more and more.
I started to doubt the whole thing. I'm not even gonna lie. I started thinking, oh, maybe he didn't shoot her. Maybe it was Kelsey. And
it 100% was Kelsey.
And he's taking the rap for her.
Not by his choice.
Not by his choice, yeah. But then at the same time, it's got me thinking like he's been denying that he made shots, period. Because when they charged him for the first two, the assault with automatic arms and the carrying unauthorized firearm charges, he was like, nah, I didn't. And again, because we know now that he was already kind of like on the legal system's radar for carrying weapons in the first place. Now I can see why he even lied about it. That no, I didn't even have.
Yeah, of course.
Do you know what I mean? Like he's trying to protect himself. But this is where the phone calls come in, because the phone calls for me, whilst he didn't explicitly say I shot Megan in those calls, he did say, I'm sorry, I can't believe that I did that. And I couldn't hear half of what was being said, but I heard that.
I mean, that's transcripted.
I heard that
when you said,
I heard that multiple times. He kept saying, oh, I'm sorry. I don't think she's even going to talk to me after this. Like, and the way I see it is, if you're talking to the girl that you're doing a thing with, about the girl that you've been doing a thing with behind her back, that just happens to be her best friend.
And she didn't even seem like bothered, really.
If it was, I mean, they've already had their beef at the party. This is the next day. That phone call was the next day, apparently, right? So, to me, if it wasn't, because people are like, oh, clearly he's apologizing for doing a thing. I'm thinking,
That's what I'm thinking.
I'm thinking surely the person he should be calling is Megan to have that conversation.
No, but like,
and be like, oh, Kelsey might not talk to me after this. Like, I can't believe. Do you know what I mean? I don't see the logic.
So did he call Kelsey or did Kelsey call him?
Whoever. But why is he on the phone to Kelsey? Why is he not on the phone to Megan? Do you see what I'm trying to say? Like, because
Megan's the side thing.
What I'm trying to say is, if the apology is about, oh, I can't believe that I did that to her. That's what he said. I can't believe I did that to her. I don't think she's even going to talk to me. I don't think she's going to even F with me after this. That's what he said. Why is he calling his babe to say, I can't believe I did that to Megan. I don't think she's gonna talk. I don't think she's gonna F with me after this thing. That's something you should say to the side chick about your main babes. That's why I was like, he's not apologizing for effing with both of them. He's apologizing for something else. He's apologizing for what happened last night. So
yeah,
that's why people were like, that's admission that he did something. And obviously, because the thing about, again, and I've said this in the past, social media, is so... People need to read things. Like, people need to look at what they see on social media as a pinch in the ocean. It's not as a drop in the ocean, as a pinch of salt. You have to go back and, like, check sources and stuff, because you can't look at Shade Bar and be like, oh, that's fact.
Yeah.
Or someone's tweet and be like, that's fact. Because they just said, oh, yeah, Tory Lanez has been found guilty for 3 charges, didn't express what the charges were for shooting Megan. So people are just hearing, you got found guilty for shooting Megan, not truly understanding the breakdown of what the charges are and what you could be done for under those charges. So for that reason, people heard that call on, again, because of the blogs, like Shade Bar, and thought, yeah, he's admitting that he shot her. He's admitting that he did it.
Yeah, whereas I was like, it's not explicitly said.
Which is why I said it's not black and white. That's why I'm saying it's not black and white. There's so much... I don't think anyone will truly know what actually happened that night. And because they were
Kelsey knows.
And because they're so drunk, they were so drunk that night, I don't even think Kelsey, Tory and Megan will truly know what happened that night. This thing happened in 2021, 2020? 2020. Do you know what I mean? Like, it happened ages ago.
2021, yeah. I think so.
Listen, in my youth, not too long ago, I've had times where I was so drunk, and then I can't really tell you the details of what happened that night. I can tell you, we went to here, there was a fight, someone got bottled, I couldn't tell you exactly where I was standing when this thing happened, who did what. Do you know, I couldn't tell you that, but I can roughly remember. So I think because they were intoxicated, I don't think anyone's going to truly know what actually happened. But I do believe that Tory made shots. I believe that the charges are correct and he's correctly been found guilty for the charges that he was done for. I do think that, based on the evidence that was presented.
Yeah. Based on that, well,
because the only anomaly there is the DNA.
It's the DNA.
That's the only one.
Which I think is really important.
I feel like sometimes those things can be doctored or misinterpreted or...
Yeah, but I don't think they didn't say that it was like, I don't know, they were unable to identify his DNA on it. They said his DNA is not there. Like, point blank, but there is female DNA.
This is why I can't even allege that it was Kelsey. It could have been any of the other chicks that was there. Do you see?
Because they weren't checking for... But I think that I really do... I mean, obviously, I don't know the other 2, so I can't even include them. I reckon they were more catalytic to the situation where maybe he'd also been doing a thing with them. And then it's all kind of bubbled up. But from what I can see, that came out of the trial, to me it looks like Kelsey. It looks like her and Megan got into a little bit of a little kerfuffle because
of Tory Lanez, you know.
You know what I'm saying? And then maybe 2 other girls did too, because it was all the same thing, and it got a bit heated. And she thought, okay, cool, I know that he's got a strap in the car, because they're intimate like that, so she knows those kind of intimate details. She grabs the thing, and not trying to hurt anybody, shoots it at the floor near everybody to be like, yo, break this the hell up. Maybe it still doesn't go that way. Clearly, they're all still fighting, because it's not a real bad injury to the point where if you're filled with adrenaline, it would stop you from fighting. Hence why I still think Megan and them lot was fighting. He's obviously taken the gun and shot it in the air. If he actually ever did, because Kelsey might have still done that.
No. The witness said that they saw Tory shoot.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But his DNA is not on the gun.
But he could have lifted the gun with his sleeve.
But then how do you pull the trigger?
He could have had a glove. We don't know.
He could have had a glove.
We don't know.
But he'd had to have been ready.
It's
he'd have to have been ready.
What are you talking about?
Man, listen, only gunman just roll with
handkerchief.
gloves on.
This guy has a gun in his car. You think he doesn't have what he needs to do what he needs
to do? Of course, but what I'm saying
handkerchief thing, pick it up.
Man would have had to be... He has to be that real gunman to actually be having glove ready to just... to just pop the thing out. No evidence. Yeah, I don't know, man. It just don't add up. It don't add up as being a situation where a man like Tory Lanez is just simply busting guns left, right, and center because girls are arguing.
Like I said, we will never know the truth. I think that the story is so like, what the heck, yeah? That there's no way at saying for sure what happened that night. What we do know is that Megan was being a bit snicky, yeah? She did a thing with her best friend's guy behind her best friend's back. Lied about it. This is the reason why people don't believe her. Because she's already lied. So what you could be lied again, yeah? So I think there's that. And then there's the fact that he did have an unauthorized weapon in the car. There was an altercation. Shots were fired. Megan got hit. Those are facts. So I think, I do think that he was correctly charged. And I do think that the guilty verdict is correct for what he was charged for. Whether he intentionally, with motive, shot Megan, that one, to me, the evidence is not swaying me either way, but I can see why Megan genuinely believes that he shot her, and I can believe her in that. Because of
I'm finding it hard to believe Megan
because of the way, like, from what we know of the situation, the way you've described it, that could have happened, but it could have also happened the way in which I've already described, in that Tory did start making shots and one happened to hit Megan. But I feel like, based on what has been presented and what I understand those charges to actually mean, I do think he was correctly charged and found guilty of it. For me, though, the whole did he shoot Megan with motive, that's the bit where I'm like, because the way in which everyone's talking about it is like, he did it with motive. Like, he shot her, he intended to shoot and he shot. I'm thinking, if you're intending to shoot somebody, why are you shooting them in the foot? Why are you not going for something more meaty? Do you know what I mean? Like, why the foot? One. But again, Megan's the victim in this whole situation, technically, whether she clarted somebody else's man or not. She's the victim because she's the one that got shot in the foot. And my normal stance is never to doubt the victim. It's always, you know what, the person that has had this done to, what they say goes, and then I work backwards from that. I do believe that she was shot. She obviously was shot. Kelsey and Tory and other people were there. Based on what we've been told about what happened that night, the phone calls, the text message between Kelsey and other people where she's like, Tory just shot Megan, all of that, I think it's believable that shots were fired by Tory that night.
Oh, for sure,
and for the
it's
fact
believable.
That shots were fired,
believable.
Shots were fired, yeah, for sure. One could have accidentally hit Megan. That's enough to prove that, he shot her then, innit? Do you know what I mean? That's what I'm saying.
That's definitely
the Kelsey situation, man. I do think that they needed to dig deeper into that. What didn't help Tory is he didn't want to take the stand. He refused. So everything was left to interpretation without him giving his own testimony of what he believed or what he says happened that night. So without hearing from him, everything's left to interpretation.
Yeah. I don't know why they thought that was a good move.
One thing I will say, though, and this is the thing about jury type of trials and cases like this where there's so much stuff there, it goes to show that we can never say 100% that it was done, because the fact that we can, after the trial has happened, a verdict has been made, people are still tearing apart the evidence and finding holes in the story and finding holes in the evidence, goes to show that the justice system...
That the jury shouldn't have come to a conclusion.
It should have been like, more needs to be done here. Like, we can't say...
This trial should still be going on.
It should still be going on. I feel like they came to a verdict too fast as well, to be honest.
Way too fast.
I'm sitting here, again, with like, okay, I don't work in the legal field. Well, actually, no, I do technically. I do work in the legal field, but I don't work in the criminal legal field here in the UK, let alone the US, which is completely different, yeah? But from just putting together my legal frame of mind, how I see things from a legal perspective, there's not enough there for me to say that he shot Megan. There's enough for me to agree on the charges that he was done for, but there's not enough for me to say that he shot, like manslaughter type situation. There's not enough for me to say that he shot Megan like that. There's not enough for me to say that based on what we've been privy to.
Based on what we know.
So if I was in that jury, I would have had a really difficult time to because they have to unanimously agree.
That's what I mean.
So I would have been that person.
Jury service.
They would have been annoyed with me because I would have been like,
I'd have been like, bruv, the way this Kelsey one is talking and this diss track, bruv, in the diss track, she said she shot him. Or she shot Megan. So.
But like sometimes girls talk, man. Girls talk rubbish, man. You might be upset.
Yeah, but
you're still.
Well, actually, you know what? I think
you're still downtrodden that this girl slept with your man and lied about it, or your
but
I don't think you're in a relationship.
That's a lot of talk. That's a lot of.
And then you come on, and you're like, yeah, pop cheat. When really, maybe you just yanked her hair out, like you pulled the full tracks out of her weave or whatever. You boxed her.
But this is what happened in the UK with drill music. And it being now used as evidence in court if people, when they were going back and forth about I did this, got down, this one, splash, etc.
Yeah.
I think this is actually probably the first case where America's doing the same that UK.
It might not be because I can't remember who.
I remember reading
someone in America that this has happened to before, who admitted something in there. Was it the baby? Someone admitted something in a song and they got done for it in America. Yeah.
I think it's 100% like the way people using this music thing, man, they're using it devilishly.
Do you know what this whole situation shows me? This whole situation shows me that people can package themselves to be classy or package themselves to be a certain type of way. But then when you find out certain things about them, it changes how you see them.
Yeah. Completely.
Like, for example, Alicia Keys. I used to rate Alicia Keys. Then when the whole thing happened with how she got Swiss Beats, I was like, yo, you're the way I see her
you're moving mad.
The way I see her class-wise, I'm like, bro, you're bottom of the barrel. Like, you don't have class. You move.
You're moving
like, when people
mad.
see you like, I don't wear makeup, natural beauty, you play a piano. Like, these are things that people associate with being upper echelon type of person. Do you know what I mean? And then now you're there doing that, just because man's married doesn't mean I can't take him. Like, your husband your soulmate could be a married man. All of that business that she even tweeted it one time. I was like, you're bottom barrel, sis.
Yeah.
Now with Megan, with loyalty is a big deal for me as a woman. I feel like loyalty, even as a man, like as a person, you should be loyal, innit? All this that you lied that you slept with Tory Lanez, like imagine your man hearing the list of people that you slept with and lied about. Like it doesn't look. And listen, like I'm old school. I'm old school, but then at the same time, I'm a bit liberal. I do believe that we women should have sexual liberation or whatever. But you know what? Sometimes keep it classy, innit? You actually were sleeping with your friend's guy, someone that she was seeing or whatever, talking to whatever. You did a thing with her. You lied about it. If you didn't do it, you would have been in that predicament. If you didn't sleep with Tory behind his back, there wouldn't have been beef at Kylie's party for that reason. Because that's the catalyst of the whole thing. That beef wouldn't have happened. It just makes me think, like, this girl, she studied, was it nursing or something? Like, she's got a degree. She was working up until, like, having a 9 to 5 up until she got to a certain point in her career. I was looking at Megan like, okay, she's a rapper, but she's not like a Cardi B. Do you know what I mean? Or she's not like a Nicki Minaj, like ex-stripper type. She's someone that's got her head screwed on. Only to hear this, I'm like, nah, sis. It just makes you look at them differently when you hear.
No, it does because it breaks the illusion. Because
it breaks that veil of, you're a decent.
Megan goes on like, hot girl summer, bad B, etc., etc. Talking the big game with her chest, wicked and bad. And the thing is, before this case even got to trial, I remember someone doing a poll about which female rappers do you think is all talk and really they ain't that way. And Bear Man said Megan, because on that thing. But she lies. She lied because think about it, with all of the tracks that she's put out, all of that kind of bravado that she's built up, she's now in court and she's scared to say about the mans that she's beat after she's been going on like, yeah, man, I beat that, I do this with the D, write my name. What? And you can't even say, it was Fred, Paul, and LaShawn. You can't say that.
Yeah, because of the fact that she slept with her friend's guy, like the guy that her friend is dealing with, someone that's supposed to be her bestie.
Yeah, you cheated.
You now went behind your friend's back and you was sleeping with this guy. Like, it's kind of, it just makes the whole thing, it's like, trash TV? That's what it's giving. It's giving.
Yeah, no, it's not good.
It's giving Real Housewives of Atlanta.
It's giving low vibrations.
Low vibrations. It's giving, you know, Jocelyn. Is it Jocelyn on Real Housewives? The Real Housewives of Atlanta. Is it? No. It's not. What's that show? Love and Hip Hop. It's giving. Yeah, it's giving Love and Hip Hop. That sort of trash TV is giving Love and Hip Hop. It just made me look at her different. The whole, not just her, but the whole thing. Like, wow, this story. Talk about a wild story. It's a wild story. But yeah, I'm still standing by Megan. What do you think? Because you mentioned earlier about the conspiracy theory, yeah, and I just want to delve into that a little bit. What conspiracy theories do you actually believe? Because there's a lot out there right now.
About this case?
About not just this case. Yeah, this case, and even in general, like Hollywood, stardom.
I mean, Hollywood 100% isn't real. The singers, rappers, and this whole selling your soul stuff, like Illuminati stuff. It's hard to... I believe in organized wealth. And in order to have that order, you need to have control. So I believe in secret societies. There has to be. There's no way people are just getting rich off of hard work and allowing other people to just get rich off of hard work and crumble your business in the process of building their business. That doesn't make sense. Like, if you want to be rich, you have to build a community so that everyone in the community works together or in a way that is compatible with one another so that we can all keep growing and not start stepping all over each other's toes and break down the whole thing. So that being said, yeah, man, people have to be enrolled, enlisted, and subscribe to the same belief systems, whatever that may be. I mean, I don't really know the intricacies of Rock Nation and Beyonce and Jay-Z, but I mean, even Beyonce and Jay-Z, like Jay-Z, amazing artist in terms of consistency. I love his work, and I love his approach to music and stuff. But is he paying? Hell no. Is he worthy of a Beyonce as a partner? Hell no. So how did that happen? You know? Because I don't particularly think Beyonce is like a woman she's not like the kind of woman who would have ended up with a Diddy, if you know what I mean. So the fact that they just did some tracks... Based on
what we know of her, because you never know.
Based on what we know of her. So the fact that they just did some tracks together when she was young and he was pursuing her, I don't think that's enough. Like, Beyonce could have literally had anybody on the face of the planet. You know, with Jay-Z. And at the time, there was definitely a lot of suitable candidates in the running. So I don't think these things just happen by chance. I think a lot of it is like, this makes sense. So let's do this.
I've heard a lot of conspiracy theories over the last few weeks, maybe even a bit longer. There's conspiracy theories around Britney Spears not being, like, whatever we see of Britney Spears on social media is not really her, it's somebody else. There's Kanye saying that there's footage of Kanye saying that he sacrificed his mum. And alleging that other artists have done the same. What's her name? Who's been doing a lot of talking lately online.
Okay, I haven't seen that one.
Oh, you've not been on TikTok. I've been sending you some things on TikTok, but like I forget her name. When I remember it, I'll pop it on the screen. But she basically was talking about some of the basically exposing things that she knows about the music industry because she's been in it and she's been working closely with these people. And she was talking a lot about how P. Diddy sacrificed Biggie Smalls and Tupac as well for him to climb up the ladder, and that made way for Jay-Z. And then they said that Jay-Z sacrificed Aaliyah, they got Aaliyah killed, so that Beyonce, to make way for Beyonce, because Aaliyah was bigger than Beyonce at the time.
Aaliyah was massive.
Yeah, and she's also been like exposing what goes on at Diddy's parties, so more talking about like how a lot of them are actually they use and abuse young black men in the industry, like sleep with them, rape them, stuff like that, as like a ritual towards the Illuminati. She spoke about how you've seen Jay-Z with, there's this ritualist that they've seen Jay-Z with, where she did this whole big, like, they called it art, but it was actually a ritual, like a blood ritual,
right?
To in the Illuminati. She spoke about Will and Jada, how she reckons they both abuse young men as well as part of the Illuminati thing, and that she was talking about, like, look at the August situation, how both Will and Jada were sleeping with him or abusing him, and then now he can't even talk about it. Like, he spoke about Jada, but he can't talk about anything else. And she's been doing a lot of talking, innit? And it's been feeding the conspiracies. Now, from a Christian perspective, the Bible does say that a lot of darkness will come to light in the end times, yeah? So bearing that in mind, I do believe that there is darkness in the industry. Whether these stories specifically are true, we will never know. But I do think that, you know, there are rituals and sacrifices and stuff that are made in order for people to get to where they have to get to, or maybe like, what was it, in sororities, they do initiations. There must be that sort of thing, because the Illuminati is technically like one big gang. I do also believe that some of them are into witchcraft. I'm very sensitive to anything to do with witchcraft. So horoscopes, readings, tarot cards, I can't do it. Like, my spirit doesn't sit well with my spirit personally. And maybe one day I'll talk about one time where the day that I just decided to stop listening to Beyonce, because I watched one of her video movie things, you know, when she does a whole album as a movie or whatever. And my spirit was really uncomfortable because I was seeing like signs of witchcraft in it, and then I couldn't sleep that night. And it sounds really like spiritual.
Oh, I know what one you're talking about.
Yeah, and it was the one that she did for Lion King.
Oh,
yeah.
I thought it was the one before that.
No, that one, I kind of stopped listening to Beyonce at that point, but I didn't want to believe it. I didn't want to listen to the conspiracies, because I was still very much like, I was a huge Beyonce fan. I don't think you understand. Every concert I was there. Every album there. I know all the songs to her older song. I know all the lyrics to all her older songs. But from the album, from the Lion King, I couldn't not listen to my spirit anymore, because from time when I was uncomfortable physically, it was like, you can't ignore this no more. So that from then I started to believe, yeah, she must be into witchcraft, because I've never been able to even sit or be around that kind of thing, if that makes sense. So, like, real digression, on your wedding day, you had someone do readings, right? I couldn't go into that hut. I couldn't. I was walking to, I was like I was talking to some of the other guests, and then we were like, oh, let's go in. I got to the door and I physically couldn't go in. Because,
you were like, no.
Yeah, so I stayed outside. People might have been thinking she's being a bit standoffish, but it's like, no, my spirit it just doesn't sit well with me.
It's not for me either.
Yeah,
I said to my wife, she wanted it. And I said, okay, but it needs to be.
And I don't judge people. I don't judge people for it, but I just know that my spirit, it doesn't sit well with me. I won't.
No, it's not for me either.
You know what I'm saying?
I said to her, it's witches and wizards. I can't. That's a Nigerian in me.
Yeah. So.
But then actually, in saying that though, I am consciously trying to get closer to what original Yoruba.
So like the Orishis and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, spirituality and look at us birthing a whole new episode out of what we're talking about. Spirituality has a, what's the word I'm looking for?
Abroad?
Yeah, spectrum. There's a spectrum to it. Yeah, it goes from, there's horoscopes, there's tarot reading, there's that it goes. Do you know what I mean? And spirituality, again, like me talking about my spirit, even me talking about my faith in God and Yahweh, that in of itself is me tapping into spirituality, but through that way of doing it, if that makes sense. Well, that's my belief anyway. So anyway, Beyonce, my spirit told me from time ago, you can't listen to Beyonce anymore. That's why her more recent work doesn't sit well with me. I can't listen to it. The last album, I listened to a few songs and I said, no, it's not for me. And I keep saying it. I can't listen to Beyonce. I can't even really look at her on social media because I can see it in her eyes. But again, that could be me. Again, that's me
seeing
tapping
what you're
into my spirituality and not, you know what I'm trying to say? So I do believe that she's into witchcraft. I do believe that she sold herself to something that is not of God in order for her to get to where she needed to get to. I actually think she tried to recruit me. Sounds wild, guys, but it is what it is. Yeah, because that night, after I watched that thing, I couldn't sleep that night. And I swear to you, Beyonce was in my room. And I had to pray. Yeah, but...
Let's do a whole episode on that. Let's do it.
Yeah, it's going to sound wild. People are going to be like, she's chatting, but because...
No, we need to do that.
From young, I've always had this other side to me where, like, I know when there's something not right in a space. When there's darkness in a space, I know, because my spirit would tell me. I've had that gift from when I was young. So with Beyonce, when it was glaringly obvious, I said, I got to pack it up. And I'm sorry, I don't listen to Beyonce anymore. And I don't care. I don't entertain her content. I don't listen to
next
her.
episode.
We'll talk about it.
Beyonce tried to recruit me to the Illuminati.
I don't even know if it was Illuminati, but I do.
Well, we'll call it that.
Yeah. So anyway, Beyonce, I can believe that there's some rituals going on, some ritualistic stuff going on in the background, in order for them to get to high places. And again, it could be because I'm Nigerian, and when you watch a lot of Nollywood movies from back in the day. It was always someone's got riches. They went to one witch doctor, made them do one spiritual ritual, sacrifice, kill someone, drink blood, chop the head off a chicken, all sorts of rubbish. And then they have to abstain from something for the rest of their life, or maybe keep it secret, or they can't do this, or they can't be seen here, they can't be, in order for them to sustain the wealth that they have received. Now, these are things that are not, it's not a lie. Like, it happens. You get witch doctors that are like, say this spell, or like people that like to do like burning incense around their house, or licking cinnamon at the start of the month, and people have all sorts of different.
Is it licking cinnamon?
Yeah, like lick cinnamon, or like there's all sorts of different spells that people do now. TikTok is rife with witchcraft. Like I'm on TikTok a lot. I'm on TikTok a lot, and I've seen a lot of things. I'm like, oh, and then I scroll, trying to get it off my algorithm. But there's a lot of witchcraft in social media, especially TikTok. There's a lot. So I can believe that element of it. I just can't say, other than Beyonce, I can't say for sure that these people have done these things that are being alleged. Kanye, I can believe it because he said with his own mouth that he sacrificed his mum for him to get to where he needed to get to. So, Kanye's now gone missing. I saw that one. There's other stars as well that have spoken about it but haven't spoken about it at the same time, if that makes sense. Like there's a clip of Kevin Hart in an interview. In an interview with Kelly Clarkson, they were talking about it, and then he was like, "Shh, don't say nothing. Like keep quiet. Like just Kelly Clarkson's always talking about how she's been trying to be recruited for something, getting her to do stuff that she doesn't want to do in order for her to get to certain places, and her refusing to do so, which is why she's not got to where she needs to get to, albeit the talent that she has. So there's a lot there that I think is believable, that maybe we should park and move on. But specifically for Megan and Tory Lanez, Tory had a gun. Tory took shots with that gun. So I think it's a reach to blame Illuminati for him being done for the charges he was done for. That's my stance on that. I think that by people turning it into a conspiracy theory, they're taken away from the fact that a grown man made certain decisions.
Yeah, for sure.
You know that you shouldn't have had a gun in that car because you've already been done for having an unauthorized weapon before, and you're literally on thin ice. And then you go to a party, the only man in the car, biologically speaking, you're meant to be protecting them. You now took an unauthorized weapon, you put it in the car. You were now intoxicated. First, you tried to drive intoxicated under the influence, and then secondly, you had a gun in the car whilst you were intoxicated. That's not Illuminati. That's your poor decisions in life as a man. Sorry. Yeah, there could be Illuminati. Yeah, Jay-Z, Rock Nation could be all about that life. All of that could be happening. But for this specific situation, people blindly blaming Illuminati for something that a grown man chose to do,
yeah, for sure,
to me, sounds crazy. And that's why, yeah, for me, when it comes to the conspiracy theories, yeah. But for this situation, nah. Sorry.
I think it's the macro and the micro, isn't it? It's like,
yeah,
if you're looking at the micro of this situation, then yeah, it's clearly not Illuminati. It's decisions were made and this is the outcome. But if you're, and this is why you can never win an argument against the conspiracy theorists, is because you can always go one step bigger as to how did the gun get in the car? Did he put it in the car? Did Kelsey put it in the car? Did it, you know what I mean? And then who's actually being influenced by the conspiracy, you know, the entities that are trying to create this narrative, and who started the fight? Who were those two girls? Were they even real? Are they, you know what I mean? Are they jinn? You know what I mean? You can
not
keep
the jinn.
Yeah, not the jinn, just getting blamed on this podcast. I'm sorry. I'm just saying,
A whole
for example.
gin, I'm done.
So yeah, it's them ones, isn't it? It's them ones. You can, if it makes sense at this level, you can just step back one more level and then you'd be like, well, it doesn't make sense at this level. So yeah, who knows?
But I
listen, if you're gonna be a gun carrier, get your damn license.
Get your license.
I don't understand why these Americans in the UK, apart from very niche, it's not legal to just be having gun. So when people have gun over here, that's, you know what I mean, you're already playing with fire. But in America, where it's legal in certain states to carry, some states it's legal to open carry, and people get done for carrying gun without license. Why don't you have a license? It's actually legal in your country.
Yeah, well,
get the license.
Depending on the state. But I think in Cali, which I think is where it happened, I think it is
legal to have a gun. Yeah. He just didn't have a license.
He just wasn't authorized. Yeah.
What the hell?
So yeah, So in conclusion, I do believe Meghan, and I do think that Tory was correctly, I think the charges are correct for the scenario at hand, for the situation at hand. I think based on what we know the evidence to be, it's more likely than not that the guilty charge is correct, if I was going to do a balance of probabilities. However, overall, I do think that so much happened and there's a few anomalies in the evidence that I don't think that it was scrutinized in depth enough. I think that the evidence wasn't conclusive. And so therefore, I can't hand on heart say that Tory had motive to shoot Meghan directly.
Agreed.
I think that he took shots, he was negligent, and I can believe that there was fragments that ended up hitting Meghan. But I don't think it was intentional based on what we know. I don't think he had motive. Maybe not say it's intentional, but I can't say he had motive. I don't see what the motive would have been. But nonetheless, I believe the victim. I never ever go against the victim unless there's enough evidence for me to not believe them.
Yeah.
I don't think there is in this situation.
I think I'm the opposite on this one.
Yeah.
I don't believe Meghan. I don't believe Kelsey. But I also don't necessarily believe Tory either. But I do think that he probably shot the gun.
Okay.
That's how I feel.
Cool. Let us know in the comments what you believe and if you are surprised by our opinions on the situation. And also let us know if you've got anything you want to say about anything else that we spoke about today. I do want to shout out Jill C from the States. You left a comment, you wished us Merry Christmas and season's greetings and all that stuff. And we just want to give you a shout out. Thank you so much for supporting us.
Thank you.
If you want to shout out like them, all you need to do is like this video, comment, and obviously subscribe. And you never know, you might be the next one that we shout out on this thing. Get me? Until next time, guys.
Peace. I find myself sleeping with you and then nutting away. I know you want my kiss.
That lyric is wild.
I know.
How can you say
want...
sleeping with your nut and nutting in what? What are you talking
nutting
about?
away. I was nutting away.
Nah, that's wild.
It could have been nut in your face. I was like, oh, that rhymes, but it's not going to get you pregnant. So let me just nutting away.
Yeah, it's not going to get you pregnant.
I feel...
Do you know that some girls can be allergic to sperm?
Yeah, I heard this. Mad.
I'm going to turn off the camera.